What's up, y'all? It is March 8th, 2024. Hey, Neek, did you hear about that time they asked about Dr. J's defense and he said what he liked to do?
What's that?
He said, I keep both eyes on my man. The basket hasn't moved on me yet. What's up, y'all? We are back and worse than ever. I am Tony
Mhm.
Styles. That is unique. We are the HoopStorians. Let's get into this day in NBA history. This day in NBA history, March 8th, 1994. Chicago, Scottie Pippen and Pete Myers became the first set of teammates in NBA history to convert 4-point plays, a 3-point and a field goal in the same game. They both did the trick in the fourth quarter of the Bulls' 116-95 win over Atlanta. How come you think more teams haven't done 4-point plays like dual teammates, such as like a Clay or a Steph, and people that get to the line get fouled a lot, as well as hit a lot of threes?
You said, how come I don't think they do more of it?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe they're just one of them unfortunate players that don't actually get the calls because I see plenty of times where the call can be made, but they don't get that decision. But another thing is maybe the players just aren't that good at shooting.
yeah.
People got to work on that shot. So that's the best thing I could say about that one.
How come you don't think Pete Myers had a better career either? Because to me, he was like, at least body type wise and movement wise, when you looked at him,
Mhm.
the way he ran, moved, and all that, he was every bit like it's saying body type is an Artest, a Pippen, a Jordan. He was like literally looked like they loved that type of player in Chicago. How come you think we didn't get more out of Pete Myers?
Usage, maybe.
Well, there you go. Usage. That's this day in NBA history. So what's up, man? Anything you want to hit tonight on the podcast, or you want me kind of lead and tell you about the things I've been wanting to talk about, or
As you see, I'm a little distracted looking at this Minnesota and Cleveland is going down.
what's the
And so I
score
just
right now? I don't even have it on.
so it's 93-94. Minnesota just hit a three. It's 205 left in the fourth.
I got you.
Cleveland is in the wall. Anyway, but
Let me tell you a funny story. I've been meaning to tell you about this for a few days or whatever. So I was on so Fluent's got a show for those that don't know, and I don't see how anybody wouldn't, but Fluent's got a show
mhm,
called Fluent and Chill. Chill's the other guy on the show. So I was on Chill's live on what was it? On TikTok. I want to say yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that. Anyways, so basically, I was telling him about how, like, we did that LeBron ranking not too long ago, and we came up with about average. LeBron's around 14th in the league right now. And, I was talking to him about this. I was like, for example, I think Halliburton right now this season has been better than him. And he was like, nah, and he disagreed or whatever. He said he's got LeBron anywhere from 8th to 12th. And he's like, nah. So there was this dude after our third guy quit. I was taking some interviews, trying to get a third person on here. After the third guy didn't work out and stuff and had other arrangements or agreements or whatever. Um, so I was interviewed. So this one dude I interviewed, he was in the interview, he was sir this, sir that. He didn't agree with me. I said it's an every night thing, why don't you come on for a show, bring on a topic, see how you like it, we can kind of go from there. And then he never showed up. Well, ever since then, because I told him I don't have to tell Kobe my all-time top 10 greatest. Ever since then, this dude texts me nonstop to argue with me about shit, right? So first
mhm.
off, so he hit me up. He hit me up the day I went on the live, like a few minutes later. He's like, "Bro, Halliburton is not better than LeBron at all this season. I think he's
This
coming,
season,
but here, yeah, yeah, he thinks Halliburton is not better at all than LeBron." So, anyways, and like it's such a ridiculous claim to say Tyrese Halliburton, the leader of the top team in offense this year that made it to the NIT finals, that's averaging 20 points and 10 assists, one of only like 15 players ever to do it, that's a crazy statement to say he might be better than 21-year career LeBron. So So, anyways, he goes, I think he's coming, but here's the thing: you just say crap to get views. Now, I've never just said crap to get views or anything like that. Wait, it gets better though. He goes, throw away every books you have and start over again. Thank you. Have a great day. So my
Every
response
book.
was, "Yeah, have a great day." So my response with that, I said, well, one guy's 35 and 28, the other guy's 34 and 30. One guy has no AD talent. I said, this is why NBA coaches agree with me on things, and you just say silly shit. He responded with, I was like, oh, and chill, by the way, he doesn't have Kobe in his top 10 all time either. He goes, quit your podcast too. It's so bad. I can make your co-host and me great. So I just think it's funny. This dude applied for a job, and now he is talking, texting me, talking shit all the time. It went
All
from
the
search. Well, I mean, just randomly he'll hit me up, and then he'll argue with what I say. Like for example, in the video, and I think I showed you about this, but one of the videos where you guys picked the $71 and I was the only one that picked the $21, he's
Mhm.
arguing me that there's no way the 70. What are you talking about? That the $71 can win? I was like, bro, I got outvoted. I thought the 21. No, you said this and you said that and you and it's just like the
No, I'm
craziest
sorry.
thing. It's just the craziest thing. Like, dude, you hit me up to come on the show and you just hit me up and just talk shit to me now. Just randomly text me talking shit. So so after he said quit your podcast, it's so bad I can make your co-host me. I was like, you've turned into a weirdo. Are you this annoying in real life?
Oh,
So So I just want to know, have you ever like kind of, for lack of a better term, applied for a job and then they said, well, come try it out, see if you like it. You don't show up and then you just hit them up to talk shit. You ever done that?
oh, you didn't know? Every job I've ever applied for, as soon as they told me I did or didn't have the job, regardless on the outcome, I walked out and pissed on the first thing that I saw.
But did you text them and let them know about it?
Not tell them to their face.
Oh,
No,
okay.
but no, 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 no. I wouldn't hit anybody up for a job and then after that catch an attitude regardless. It don't matter if I get hired or not. You know, if
Yeah,
I
I just find
needed
it.
the job or I wanted it, I went
Mhm,
for it. If I don't get it, it is what it is.
mhm. Hey, and I'm gonna ask you. So even if you don't agree that Tyrese Halliburton is better than LeBron this season, is there an argument that he is?
Yeah, I mean, there will be plenty argument. For one, the standing. You feel me? His record this season, the fact that he's even been acknowledged the way he is for the success that he's been having. We're seeing him blossom. We're seeing him turn into an all-star, and everyone knows we're at the. I don't want to say the decline, but we are looking at LeBron's last years, and this is nothing against LeBron. It just is what it is. Everybody at some point is going to have to retire, so it's obvious we're getting to the point where LeBron probably only got a few more years in him. So he doesn't have to go as hard in the seasons. Is not necessarily say he's taking a break or anything like that, but he has to preserve his body because if he's planning to play postseason ball and try to see as far as he can go each season, he doesn't necessarily have to go so hard now that we're seeing that we have things like play-ins. You feel me? As long as he keeps himself in a good position, you feel me? I don't see LeBron ever being fearful against any team that he's gonna go against. You feel me? And he's proven to be a leader. So the point that I'm trying to get to is I can see LeBron with these things in mind and everything like that. I can see him having seasons where he doesn't look as good as the players that are coming up, the players that are the rising stars of the league. And Halliburton is one of those rising stars of the league. So it wouldn't be far fetched to suggest that he may be better this season, especially with the type of season that he's been having.
No, I agree with you on that. Speaking of rising stars and all that, I
He
want to
tied
talk
it up.
about I want to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves actually, since you're watching the game. That's 97 with 2.9 to go. What do you think is going to happen with the injury to Cat, the torn meniscus? He's out until early in the playoffs as of right now. They are currently number one in the West. They are half a game up on OKC. If they lose tonight, they will be second. Where do you see them go? Do you see them maintaining that number one without Cat? Do you see them fall into the third spot, the fourth, the second? Where do you see them, since they won't have Cat for the rest of the season with basically 20 games to go for everybody? last quarter of the season.
Ooh, because who's number three? Denver.
Yeah, three is Denver, four is the Clippers, five is the Pelicans, six is the Suns. And I really think too the Suns could really make a move if their three guys could ever stay healthy for a stretch. Like Beal's missed like I don't know 29 games or something. Booker's missed 12. Durant's missed 7. And I really feel like Phoenix they have just as good on paper at least just as good top 7 as anybody. They got the big
Yeah.
three. They got Royce O'Neal, they got Nurkic, they got Eric Gordon, and they got Grayson Allen. Who Grayson Allen might have been their most important player all season. So yeah, I feel like they're top 7 right now, especially with Grayson Allen now shooting almost 50% from three and starting to make like 8 a game. Guys with Nurkic who's getting like 30 plus rebounds. So I feel like the Suns are top. So if they get healthy, I think they could. I think they could make a run too, just as well. So yeah, where do you have
Yeah.
Minnesota falling with no cat?
So because of the dynamic of the end of the season and everything like that, and teams are gonna be playing harder. Without Cat, I can see a few games slipping from them, and with the West, I don't know how that's gonna shake things up so much because I don't have the records and everything in front of me right now.
Well, here, let me give you
Um,
something. So Minnesota right
yeah.
now, they're a half game up on Oklahoma City. They
Mhm.
are 1 game up on Denver. They are 3 games up on the Clippers, 6 games up on New Orleans, 7 games up on Phoenix, 7.5 games up on Sacramento, and Dallas. They're 9 games up. That's the top 8.
Okay.
So
So
from 1 to 8, 9 game separation with 20 to go.
so I don't see them dropping below 4 then. Denver is so close to where I could see Denver catching them. I could see Denver surpassing them. And then the Clippers aren't completely out of range and they got such a deep unit to where if they go on a run, like it wouldn't be far fetched for the Clippers to win the next 20 games to me. So and same with Denver. So the way I see it is I can realistically see Cat being out somewhat hurting them as far as the maturity of the team and everything like that. And I still don't see them dropping below 4 though. So they're gonna be in the top 4. More than likely the top 3, but I say the top 4.
So let's say that sets them up. That would be a let's say the standings just stay the same. Minnesota against New Orleans in a 4-5 matchup, or maybe the Suns because they're a game back there and they've crept into 5 a few times and then they lose a couple. So do you like Minnesota better against New Orleans or Phoenix in the first round?
I guess it depends on what team I'm going for. If I'm going with Phoenix, that'd be a lovely matchup in my opinion. I feel as though
For Minnesota?
no,
Oh, for
that'd be
Phoenix.
yeah for Phoenix. Like if I'm
Hmm.
a Phoenix fan,
Hmm.
Minnesota would be a that would be the matchup that I would be looking for. To be quite honest, even with them being a good team this season, like you were saying, Phoenix is quite deep and their players are experienced. And on top of that, they play within their role too. Everybody knows on the Phoenix team what they're there to do, and they'll execute that. And I don't see Minnesota having the pieces that can stop Phoenix at their level, their caliber of team.
You know what's crazy is if that does happen where they fall to 4, then that means that Oklahoma City has a really good chance at the 1. And then if it's a matchup with Phoenix and Oklahoma City in the playoffs, I really like Phoenix's chances to get to the Western Conference Finals if those are the two teams they have to go through.
So, yeah, it comes down to, I mean, Phoenix has that pedigree, like within them. You feel me? You got Booker, who's a dog. Bill, dog. KD, he's already a champ, and you know he's just hungry. He's just looking to win another one. Got players like Nurkic. He's gonna get
Grayson Allen.
disrupted. Now he's
Yeah, I
gonna
really
get
like
hot.
Grayson Allen. Yeah, I
He's
really
gonna
like
get hot
Grayson Allen
with
this
him.
season.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So these are the things that you need in the playoffs.
Okay, so then if Minnesota drops to 4 and they end up playing the Pelicans, what do you think that matchup is? Who do you think wins that one?
You know what? I think Ingram is show out in that matchup. I mean, there's still players like Gobert that they would have to try to go through, and then got vets like Conley and everything like that who stay ready. But I could see Ingram really going off in that series. Hopefully Zion, does what he's supposed to do.
Well, I really like 8 guys on the Pelicans. I like McCollum. I like Ingram. I like Herbert Jones. I like Zion. I like Valanciunas. I like Jose Alvarado. I like Trey Murphy, and I like Larry Nance. So I
Yeah.
I could see them, especially with no cat. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a one and done situation for them if they don't have cat. I think it was going to be hard, not maybe the first round or whatever, but even so, I could see it because they won. What did they win last year? They won one game off of them, one game off the Nuggets. So to go from a one game win to all of a sudden 4 games, I mean, you got to quadruple your production just to win in the first round. Not to say they couldn't do it, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the experience with them. Um, when it comes down the clutch, teams freeze up and they just kind of play ISO ball and they quit playing team ball. And I don't understand why they do it. Boston, like I said, I've said this before, is a prime example of that, where they are the best first 3 quarters team in the league by far. And then in the fourth quarter, if you're going to beat them, that's where you beat them because they start, freezing up, playing ISO ball. Um, and yeah, and I mean, I like Anthony Edwards. I like how Anthony Edwards thinks he's the best player in the league. Not to say that ISO ball necessarily is bad with Anthony. I just think it's bad with anybody, period. So I guess if we are doing ISO ball, I think Anthony Edwards would be one of the guys I would lean more towards. But ultimately, it's just I don't think it's an effective. I don't think it's an efficient way to play, especially when we see all that you can do from movement of the ball. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like the injury for him. Like I said, I think Cat plays fantastic. Another problem I have with Anthony Edwards, where I don't like it, is he is short for his two guards. He's only 6'4", so I definitely don't like players. If you're a two guard, I like you at 6'6". Just history has shown us, you need that little extra size. Um, yeah, so that I don't like. I don't necessarily like it. That's where I'm at on it.
So, couple questions.
Go for it.
As far as ISO goes, would it be different if it's a ISO player that's like, let's say Kevin Durant's height or taller?
Kevin Durant obviously is a little bit different too because he continues to gets his shot off everyone. We have what is it now? 17 years of him being effective doing that. 17 years of him winning titles, going to finals, going
Mhm.
to you got to realize too a lot with that OKC run. Like one year Westbrook got hurt, one year Durant got hurt. So there was a lot of factors that came into them not winning a title because I mean they kept getting to the conference finals like every year. It was just kind of like an afterthought that they'd be there. Um, yeah, so Durant, somebody who's an all-time scorer, an all-time efficient scorer. Like here, I'll just put it this way: I like Durant so much. I don't know how Michael Jordan would beat him in a one-on-one game. I don't know how Kobe Bryant would beat him in a one-on-one game. Not to say that they don't have like a skill. It's just that extra. He's
It's too
just
much.
as skilled as you, plus an extra 6 inches. It's just I just don't know how playing him in ISO one-on-one ball, how anybody's going to stop him. He stops himself. That when he's bricking,
Right.
that's like the other night against the Nuggets. And if you want, we talk Phoenix all night because that is my squad. That other night against the Nuggets when they beat the Nuggets, I thought there was no hope with the Nuggets. He went like 1 for 8. Um, in the fourth quarter, but his one was like the game tying three or something like that.
It
And
came
then and
out,
then
man.
right, and then he dropped like 8 or 10 in the overtime. So he can go through these
Crazy.
long periods where it's just him missing, and it's really just him missing. It's nothing you're doing. I watched him against Wimbiana regularly get his shot off with no problem. Wimbiana couldn't recover. So yeah, so someone like a Durant that's proven. I'll put it this way: if Anthony Edwards starts having a string of postseasons where he's just dominating and just hitting shots, then I'm cool with
Mhm.
him taking it. I'm just saying, as of right now, a team that hasn't made the second round since literally 20 years ago and only has made it once. I don't know if I like Anthony Edwards ISO in the playoffs, but then again, we won't know it till they run it. So if they run it and it's effective, I'm with it. I'm with anything that's effective, and I'm with anything that's efficient. That's what I'm saying. This is where I look at it. I look at it as it's all about the win. Okay. I don't
Mhm.
care about the flash. I care about the win. If you can be flashy and that's effective, cool. If you can be fundamental and that's effective, cool. If flashy is more effective than fundamental, then we'll go the flashy route. That's rarely the case. Fundamental route normally is the more effective route. So what I'm saying is I don't like ISO ball. It's not effective. It's not efficient. However, though, if he becomes efficient at it, because certain players it is with, then I'm with it.
So part of my question was I was curious if there is a correlation between the size of the player with the talent and their efficiency. Like for instance, again, players like Shaq doing ISO. Let's say Shaq had handles, or actually, no disrespect to Shaq, he did have handles. But let's say Shaq decided to put the ball on the floor a little bit more, and Shaq went ISO. You
Well,
feel
when you
me?
run post up, that is an ISO. That's an isolation play. It's a one-on-one defender. So Shaq was effective at ISO ball. What's up, Cam Killer Cam?
What up, Kim?
So so yeah, so that is effective. Also, I was thinking about this. I want you to think about this. Where do you have Steph Curry ranked in the all-time greatest?
Mm.
Just rough number. I mean, it don't have to be exact because there's a point
He's
that
in
I'm
my
trying to
top
make with it.
20. He's in Steph is in my top 25. He maybe even top 15.
Yeah, I was going to say I
In
think
that
Steph
range.
right now. Yeah, okay, so we'll say top 15. If I had to guess, if you really, and you probably haven't wrote it down, because like I said, I don't have some like official ranking. I find it crazy people that rank their top 10, individually like that,
Mhm.
because like I said, it's just so many variables and how you can come up with a definitive one based off the numbers and whatever. Really it's really more so like an ego thing, and ego, like that's your favorite player, that's who you like watching. So you try to elevate them because a lot of people thinks their opinion matters the most. And that's why, I always try to lean towards the numbers because I just want the truth. I'm going to push whatever the numbers narrative says because, Jay-Z said men lie, women lie, the numbers don't. Um,
But you know what though? On that,
what's
on
up?
that though, Jay full of shit though. I'm gonna tell you why though. I get the point. Numbers. The stats and everything like that. They're supposed to be in science, so
The
I get
numbers
that.
aren't
I'm not
biased is my point. The
none.
numbers aren't biased. They're not trying to push a narrative.
But people are biased and people create categories and people can juke
Right.
stats, people can
Right.
juke numbers, so people can manipulate you with numbers. So even though numbers are supposed to be facts and everything like that, there's ways that you can use numbers to paint a picture that may not necessarily be factual, but people are going to
Right.
ride with it because, well, these are facts because these are numbers. But at the same time, like I said, there's ways to juke numbers to make something appear to be what it's not. I'm not saying that's what's going on in every instance, but I'm saying
Right.
that is a factor. That is something to consider.
Right. Well, no, no, no. I agree with that. And like Cam just said, top tens are 100% personal preference. And what I would say is that my top 10 is not,
True.
because I'll give you an example. Like my favorite players growing up, my favorite player of all time was Larry Johnson. I never try to throw any argument where Larry Johnson is the greatest, the best, or whatever. I never tried to do that. After that, some of my other favorite players were Penny Hardaway, Michael Finley, Stephon Marbury, things like that. I never try to throw those guys in the mix, even though I think they were really good players. Nowadays, I really like hustle efficient. I like players that try the most. Like the other night when we were talking with Coach Dave Severns, uh, I brought up how I love Cole Aldridge. Cole Aldridge was a
Mhm.
15, 16 minute a guy who was only in the league for like 6 years, something like that. He was highly efficient. In about 16 minutes, he would get you 5 points, 5 rebounds, shoot 60%, block a shot, set good screens, roll. He was just and I like those guys. I like peak Jared Dudley. Jared Dudley had no athletic ability, but he was ripping players like Kobe. One of my all-time favorite plays to watch is Kobe tried to throw an and one mixtape on Jared Dudley in the
What
playoffs, and
happened?
Dudley ripped him. It was one of my all-time favorite plays to watch because it was just Kobe. It was everything that the numbers have taught me. That flash shit was more effective. We just did solid defensive fundamentals. And there's no reason why Jared Dudley should be ripping Kobe. But the fundamentals work. And so I'm saying a lot of people try to push numbers, and I don't do that. I look at the straight numbers. If that's what it is, that's what it is. And I don't even remember how we got on the subject of this, but because I was going to circle back to my original point, but now I'm so far off it, I don't even know where I'm at. Here we
Okay.
go. That's like saying some people might value shooting more than defense, so they would put Steph over Bill. That is correct. And that is why I don't. Even though Bill shot 44%, he has an argument to literally be the GOAT because he won the most. And that's supposedly what the game's about. And if you won the most and you are the only one on every one of the 11 teams, then you have an argument for that. Not only that, he was an outstanding rebounder. Arguably the second best rebounder of all time, no matter how you want to slice it. Arguably, now maybe you want to say you factor in pace and this and that and the other, and you can do that, but he has an argument for being the second best rebounder of all time. Also, too, they didn't keep stats back then, but I'm sure his defense and his blocks and steals numbers would be through the roof as well. I don't have his numbers, but like I said, they tracked Wilt Chamberlain's blocks through 112 games. Wilt Chamberlain averaged 8.8 blocks a game. So you got to be thinking about that. That dude, some years probably averaged a triple double in blocks. Um, and I'm sure Bill Russell some years because they said he was every bit the shot blocker. So I think Bill Russell. So I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't care. Generally speaking, scoring is the most effective and efficient way to win the game because you
Right.
cannot outscore a team and lose. However, there's a bunch of factors that can make up the scoring. So if you are a dominant rebounder but you're not that efficient in scoring, but you're getting 40 more possessions a game because of your rebounding and the team rebounding, then it doesn't really matter that you're more of an efficient scorer. The other team can't get the ball until you score. And if you look at the 2009-10 Lakers, more so than Kobe, and I'm not saying because Kobe was absolutely fantastic in the '09 finals. It was by far and above his best finals. But if you really watch the '09 Lakers, their real big advantage was they had 7 foot Bynum, 7 foot Gasol, 6 foot 10 Lamar Odom, and when somebody would miss, they would play volleyball at at the rim and just keep tipping it in, just until it went in. And that is a hard thing to break. So, like I said, like I said, Moses Malone, when he won, he was the best offensive rebounder in the game. So even when he missed, he'd just get the
Mhm.
ball 4 or 5 times in a row and score. With that being said, with this, I don't have a best list because a best list has guys like I don't have it. So do you guys have a greatest list and a best list? I don't have a best
How
list
deep we
because
talking?
how deep I guess probably top 10 or whatever. I do have a top 10 greatest list that I kind of was forced to make, but I don't have a best list because guys like Ish Smith, I think, are better than Bob Cousy. And I'm not going to start making lists where I have to rank Ish Smith better than Bob Cousy because we're going to get way down the list before I get into the all-time greats. So yes,
Well, here's
I
the thing.
argue that. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. It's your personal best. You feel me? So it would technically be your preference. So it wouldn't even necessarily need too much justification. Like you can say whatever you want, like as far as who you feel is the best, and then whatever reasons you have for that. But it's all subjective, so it really wouldn't matter. You feel me? Like it's more so like, all right, what type of players do you rock with? I don't think that anybody can really be really judged on who they think they best is or who they think the best is. Um,
Totally can. Totally
why?
can.
How so?
Okay, if I think Larry Johnson is the best, you gonna take me serious? He's my favorite player. So is he the best?
I'm
Nothing
aware
about him
that,
says the best.
huh?
Nothing about him says he was the best.
But I'm aware that sometimes people use best and favorite interchangeably. So I can see a person meaning their favorite when they say best. I don't feel that way as far as when they say greatest.
Hmm.
But when they say best, like all right, they might mean their favorite.
Right. And they
I
would
mean,
be
if it's
wrong.
something like that.
Right. And they would be wrong because favorite and best mean complete two different things. And
True.
that's what I mean. So like I've met plenty of guys that their favorite person was their wife, and it was clearly not the best wife.
That's-
You know
Maybe
what I
it's the
mean?
best one for them though.
So best is kind of just like most skilled. So this is what I say about best. I'll give you a good example. If we were having
Hmm.
a one-on-one competition where really it was just your skills and except for passing, because I think passing is a very important skill, but obviously in one-on-one, it doesn't play a factor in it all. One-on-one, if we're just talking about your bag, your tricks, what you can do to score the ball, your dribbling, your shooting, your layup package, your dunk game, your post game, things like that. I think on a one-on-one competition, I think Jamal Crawford would go very far. I don't know if he'd win
Yeah.
it, but I mean, I think there's a chance he could win it. Um, That dude is an awesome, unbelievable one-on-one player. He has the best. Everybody talks about Kyrie.
Anything offensively.
Yeah, yeah, Jamal Crawford has the best behind the back dribble. If you ever watch a highlight package about that dude, all his crossovers are behind the back. He's not really going, he crosses over behind the back. That dude has the best crossover behind the back. I've ever best behind the back dribble I've ever seen, and I will die on that hill. So what I was saying is, so there we go. So Jamal Crawford, he's now we're on anybody's greatest list, but on best list, I mean, he's going to smoke a lot of guards, a lot of, I think he'd smoke Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Walt Frazier, Nate Archibald. These guys that have won MVPs, Finals MVPs, all that. So as far as this go, KD arguably most skilled, but doesn't have a debate for greatest of all time. No, he doesn't have a debate for greatest of all time. But if you want to put him in your 10 to 15 range, I could see why. He's got titles, he's got Finals MVPs, he's got almost 30,000 points. So yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. Here, I'll just give you my greatest
What,
list.
you know what
My
though?
what's up?
On that though, what would keep KD out, or better yet, what would put KD into the greatest discussion? What does KD need to do at this point?
To get
Or is
so
it
to
not
get in the
attainable for him?
well, first off, until he stops playing, technically, just by the way percentages and probabilities work, there is a chance. The only way there is not a chance is if he quits playing. So that's why. But it's going to be a very hard chance. One, if somehow Phoenix can win a title this year, that'll vault him. I think that'll get him in a lot of people's top 10. Because if you remember correctly, when Dirk won his first title, nobody really took Dirk seriously as a top 10 player currently in the league. And the next year after he won it, he was like, because
You have to
ESPN had
respect
that
it.
ranking. ESPN had that ranking. I think they ranked him third or fourth or fifth, way higher than they had been ranking him, is my point. So, yeah. So if he gets that, I think a lot of people will put him in his top 10 because then it's not like, well, he joined a title team and he joined this and he joined that. Um, and yeah, and then if somehow maybe if Phoenix wins, maybe a few more role players come and then if he does another like 35 point a game finals and all that. So yeah,
And
it's
Phoenix good for
possible.
getting good players. They
Right.
Phoenix good for getting some good players in there.
Right. So it's possible. It's just very not probable, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Not only that, he's what is Katie? He's 35 this year. If he plays another
Turn this
five
way out.
years, right? But if he plays another 5 years, first off, if he plays another 5 years and he's healthy, there's no reason why he can't end up with 38,000 points somewhere around there. But even if he's not healthy, 35,000 points. So you got 35,000 points. You'll have a decent amount of rebounds, decent amount of assists, blocks, steals, all that. Plus with some rings, all NBA, all that. 4 titles, 5 titles. Yeah, he'll definitely vault up. But to be the greatest of all time, like I don't know, man. 3, 4 more titles in a row. If he can get a
Dang,
three-peat, he might have an argument. Well, the
a
first two are
three
going to be
piece for
so.
Mike.
I'm telling you, for the first two titles are going to be so. They're so downgraded. You know what I mean? Those titles count so little on the weighted scale because the team that beat him, the team that did this, the team that won 73 games, the team that maybe was a Draymond suspension away from winning 2 in a row. Um, it's just that, but there's some KD lovers out there that they're already going to have him around top 10 because like I said, based by the awards, titles and numbers, he's got an argument for around 10. It's just when you factor in the only thing that's keeping him out the top 10 right now is he joined Golden State.
Okay, the tarnished. Okay. He got
That
tarnished by that.
well, wouldn't you agree?
No, I mean, I don't agree, but I understand the argument there. The reason why I don't agree is because I feel as though there was some team chemistry issues that was going on and it was internal. So it's like him leaving the team, I felt as though if you're already leaving your team, I don't really care what team you go to. You feel me? Maybe there's a slight but I mean, I am a Golden State fan. It did help us, but at the same time, I understood like if you're playing somewhere and you don't want to be there, because he did it to Golden State too. If you're playing somewhere and you don't feel comfortable with that organization, I don't knock you for leaving. And for him, he might have felt like, okay, if I'm gonna leave, who do I fit in best with? What players could I see myself being comfortable around? What players do I feel like I can gel the best with? If it
No,
happened to be Golden State, it happened to be Golden State.
No, he looked at the way Golden State was playing, and he loved their ball movement and all that over a ball dominant guard, such as tell her we said hi in the background. Um,
She was supposed to be in the background.
I know. I just see a head pop up. Um, what was I saying though? Yeah, yeah, no, no, no. I agree that he saw that was the best type of basketball, and he thought that would be best for him. And like I said, I can't knock that, but I also can't knock it if people don't want to, if they think they don't like the move, because that
Right, right.
is a that's what I'm saying. So he put himself in the best situation to win, but he also put here. That's actually a good comment. Here, he put himself in the best situation to win, but he also put him in the worst situation for his legacy.
Yeah, and this is true because I feel as though
It's a
even
weird
LeBron,
paradox, ain't it?
yeah, yeah, it's bogus. I feel like even LeBron kind of, I mean, it's hard because LeBron has more accolades than KD and everything like that. So LeBron has proven that he belongs in that great conversation with the things that he's done so far already. But I do feel as though when he went to Miami, even though for most people it was a given that they were about to win, it was also to a lot of people like this is a cheat code. Like why you do that? But at the same time, if that's what he felt like his talents would be, most appreciated or better utilized, I can't. You feel me? If he wasn't in no contract, it is what it is
So I don't see the validity in their argument because he went from a 60 win team to a 40 win team. I don't know how that's a cheat code.
because of the
Dwayne Wade
players.
was winning. I understand that, but Dwayne and Bosch were winning 40 something games by themselves. They were getting bounced in the first round. That's not the
That one
same as
going.
going to a, that's not the same as going to a 70 win team that's winning championships at
This
all.
is true, but that one gonna continue. You feel me? Because look at what Golden State did. You feel me? It's not like they won against LeBron when they actually had the record. So it's just like, it depends on where your mind is. I get the fact that, Wade and Bosh wasn't really putting it together like that at first, but at the same time, with a player like LeBron, that's gonna make you step up, especially when you're the caliber of players that they were. You feel me? That's a given. Like the way that Dwayne Wade is already proven to be a beast. He's already proven to be a dog. You add a
Yeah,
LeBron, you
but
add a LeBron at his prime, that's definitely gonna motivate you. That's gonna have you on your shit.
but that's what I'm saying. How are they going to improve? Wade was 28 years old, and that's supposed to be your prime. He was 28 years old winning 40 games. What, he was going to get better as he aged? He was already in his prime,
Yeah,
only winning 40
yeah.
games.
We're watching people get better as they age right now. LeBron's getting better as he ages. Steph's getting better as he ages. So it's like,
LeBron is definitely not better now.
he's smarter. He's not as athletic now. He's not
Right.
as quick and powerful. But I wouldn't say that he's not better now because mentally he's there. You feel me? There's things that he can do that he probably wasn't prepared for earlier in his season. I mean, early in his career.
But that's every player, though. You know what I
I
mean?
know,
Carmelo
but
Anthony at 38 was a much better mental player. He was a worse player overall, though.
yeah, with Carmelo wasn't. How I say this? Carmelo wasn't competing the way LeBron still is. You feel me? LeBron has kept himself consistently at the very least in the top 15 his whole career.
I don't know if he
Carmelo
was top.
didn't
I
let
don't know if he was top 15 his rookie year,
okay,
but
top
since his
20.
rookie,
Okay.
but
Or
since his
after his
second year,
rookie year,
definitely.
15.
Yeah,
Okay. So since his sophomore year, he's been
yeah.
consistently in the top 15. Melo let himself fade out. You feel me? So it's like when we're talking about LeBron, you feel me? This is level of greatness. When we're talking about LeBron, it's like not to bend things for him because I'm not no super LeBron fan. It's just more so acknowledgement that he's something different.
No, no, no. And I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that Jordan. I think Jordan on the Wizards was much better mental player, but he's clearly a worse player, and that's what I'm trying to say. Wade at 28 at his peak was getting 40 something wins. You know what I mean? I just don't consider it a cheat code. They were barely scraping into the playoffs and getting bounced in the first round. He went to a team that had gotten hold on. This was his team's. Let's see. This was Miami's team. So 2010 they lost in the first round. 2009 they lost in the first round. 2008 they didn't make the playoffs. 2007 they lost in the first round. I just don't consider that a cheat code. Three first round
What was he,
losses, huh?
what was he averaging before LeBron came? Like that season before LeBron, and what did he start averaging after LeBron got there?
I don't remember the exact season because 2009, 10. I know 08, 09, he averaged like 30 a game. And then 08, 09, he averaged, 27 or something like that. And the first year with LeBron, he averaged like 25
So it went down when he got with LeBron.
by like 2 points. I mean, but it was right in the same range. It was 90 something percent of what he had been scoring. So that's where, let's see what this says right here. Hold on. We got, what really made the KD situation worse than LeBron is that the Warriors just sent his team home when he joined them. And I agree with that. That's what makes it more worse to me. And I'm not saying KD gives a fuck about my opinion, and he shouldn't, but that's really what's right. It's the team that you beat. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather him join the Cavs. To me, it would just look better even if he went to the championship Cavs than the team that beat him.
Looks like he sided up with the ops. Basically, it looked like he just. I get it.
Hey, but you know what he did? You know what he did? He did a fucking WWE turn in the tag team match. When they were losing, when him and his tag team partners, he jumped him in the middle of the match and went to the other squad. And they got a heel stable now. That's what he did. He pulled the WWE move.
So y'all don't think Cleveland fans before he came back and won the title for them, y'all don't think Cleveland fans felt like he jumped ship? Because I seen a lot of burnt jerseys going on.
I got you. I mean, they might have felt like that, but there was no logic behind it. How did he jump shit? He left. He was a free agent. He left. He had that right. You know what I
No,
mean? I mean, I guess he did.
I feel it
I
early.
guess he did technically by the term jump ship. He did change ships, but like it wasn't like it was an unfair. It's not like he promised them to do it. The problem that he really did though is it was kind of an asshole move, and he said he regrets doing it. Is the special to break the hearts of Cleveland? That was really what kind of. But even on the flip side, it raised a bunch of money for charity for like boys and girls clubs, or I think it was for kids, whatever charity it was. So I mean, there was a silver lining with it, but that's where he really messed up. But I still want to get into my top 10 greatest still. We haven't even done
Okay.
that, but you got a
Yeah.
rebuttal?
For what? What you just
What?
said?
Yeah.
No.
No, okay. Because I was asked what my top 10 were. So my top 10 greatest is I have a rotation of five. I think five players have a legit argument to be the greatest of all time. Not the best, but the greatest. And you can put them in the order and I'll accept it. Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Russell, and Wilt. I think those are the top five that have an argument for greatest. Then my sixth guy is Magic. My seventh is Duncan. My eighth is Bird. My ninth is Shaq, and my 10th is Akeem. And those are my top 10 greatest. You got a top 10? You ever ranked them or no?
My way, it would actually sound similar to be honest.
Shoot it out, Cam. I'll tell you what I think of your list. Send it out, and we'll
Okay, I
put it
got
up.
one.
Yeah, he got one, but we'll wait to hear
No,
yours,
no.
and then we'll throw his
All
out.
right. So this ain't in no particular order. I have
One through
Jordan.
tens in no order. I mean, I don't
I don't
care. I'm
even.
just asking you.
Yeah,
Are you saying
yeah,
okay? Go for it.
yeah. This 1 through 10 is in no order because I don't even want to put them in order right now.
Okay.
Shaq, Duncan, Jordan.
Hmm.
I actually have Kobe on mine. LeBron.
Hmm.
Um, I said Shaq. Hakeem, Kareem, Wilt.
Hmm.
Um, and this is my list. Magic and Bird. That's 10. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's what we got with this. Read it out for
LeBron,
the
Jordan.
audience, please. Yeah.
So we got LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Kobe, Tim, Wilt, Curry, and Shaq. You know what's funny? I kept Curry off my list. When I paused, it was because it was like I can't put Curry on the list yet, even though I feel as though he will be on my greatest top 10 list at some point. But I was like, and the difference between Curry and LeBron is LeBron is a shoe in, you feel me, for the greatest already, whereas Curry still hasn't yet shown that he is that dominant, definite, I'm the best player yet, but he has proven that I am one of the best. I am one of the greatest. Maybe not the. Anyway, the point that I'm making is I put LeBron in and left Steph out because I still feel like there's some things Steph needs to do before he's top 10 greatest for me at least. But I know eventually he will be there. But it's funny that that list is very similar to mine, and I pause because of Steph.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, your list is solid overall. It's not he's got 4 rings, 4 final. What's to say? 4 rings, 4 finals MVPs versus 4 rings, 1 finals MVP versus your Curry LeBron comparison. Yeah, with that. I mean, your list are all tier one players. I think there's a bunch of tier one players. Like I think there are, 15, 20 players that have like legit arguments for top 10 and some that, people aren't even thinking of. Like for
Mhm.
example, if somebody really wanted to throw Bob Pettit in their top 10, I don't know how I could knock that if we're really going by greatest. He has
I've heard it
stats.
though. I've
Right, right,
heard
right.
it.
But I'm
I've
saying,
heard
but
it.
I'm saying, like he has stats. He has an MVP. He has titles. The dude averaged 26 and 16 for his career. And if that's what you want to value, and you say he's the only dude to ever beat Bill Russell in the finals, and that should count for something. Cool, as long as you have some logic behind it. I'm with that. So me, I don't have Kobe or Curry in my top 10. Like I said, I understand why people. I understand why people put Kobe more so than Curry in their top 10. I'm with Neek on that. I don't think he's accomplished enough to be top 10. Like, for example, you don't have Bill Russell, or we're talking greatest, though. So I just want to ask you this. We'll use Bill Russell. How is Curry greater than Bill Russell? He's the greatest shooter of all time, but we could argue Bill Russell's the greatest defender of all time. And then on top of it, Bill Russell's the greatest winner of all time. And then Russell has more final. Well, Curry has more points, but Russell has more rebound. But Curry has more assists, but Russell would have more block shots. So me, I don't understand definitely the Curry argument, but it's a solid list. Um, I don't know how
The
you
Curry,
can I don't know how you can definitively rank. I don't know how anybody can do this. Definitively rank LeBron over Jordan or Jordan over LeBron or all that. Me personally, I do think Jordan is a little bit above Braun, but not enough to definitively rank them.
no. Um, Now when it comes to tiers, because the question that just popped in my mind is, and I agree, it's very difficult to try to argue who's greater among certain tiers, though, like a Jordan and LeBron. But then when we think about, let's say, who's greater between,
Hey, real quick, I just want to say this. My list is career and skill. That's why I put Curry in there. So that's what I was saying between greatest and best. Skill doesn't matter in greatest. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Alexander the Great is one of the greatest military conquerors of all time. The Roman Empire is one of the greatest empires of all time. You take me with no military training and 100 guys with guns, transport me back in time. I believe we can take over the Roman Empire. Real talk, with sniper rifles, some assault weapons. It doesn't, but I will never be greater than them as far as like empires, armies, things like that. That is where greatness translates, and that's what I keep trying to tell people. So if you want to do skill and all that, that's what I'm saying. That's a best list, and that's not a greatest list, because you got to realize the fact. Like for example, in the 50s, they were only allowed to dribble. This is the ball. Which I have my ball in here. Ball, you're only allowed to dribble the top. Nowadays, where hands are on the side, hands are on this side, hands are under, all that would be a travel. Dominique
no,
Wilkins,
it's
the
like,
Euro step, travel. So I'm just saying they weren't afforded the opportunities now to showcase their skills. And I'm not even saying they had those because they didn't know about them, but it was refereed completely different. So we're not practicing moving my hand all over the ball and suspending the ball in all these ways because we can only do this. What were we going to say?
I was gonna say it's kind of like comparing like a John Stockton to Kyrie in terms of greatness. Like, you feel me? Who's the more skilled player?
Hmm.
Then who's the greater player? And so it's kind of like that in my mind.
No, I feel on you. Yeah. And I think since Curry was the best player in title teams, obviously he surpassed that. But, even after, you know, 1 ring, you could clearly tell Curry could do more things with the ball, shoot better, have the volume. But then you got to figure out too, Stockton was getting, what, 15 assists a game on average, and at least in scoring 17 a game. So I mean, he was responsible for at least, and that's if they were all twos, no and ones, no three. That's responsible for at least 47 points a game. And Curry, when he was 30 and 5 assists, even if all his points, three pointers were three pointers, that's 15 points. That's 45 points he's generating, gets 47 Stockton's generating. So you can look at it like that too. Who's knocking out more production? But I mean, I agree. Like I said, Ish Smith would absolutely work Bob Cousy. Ish Smith has played for 27 teams as the backup and all that. Um, Speaking of, shout out to Ish, by the way. I left you a message on your phone, so if you give me a call back, because you are actually one of my favorite players. I love the way you play. Um, so yeah, there is that. Um, but yeah, as far as like, that's what I'm saying. But a lot of, like I said, lists are personal bias, who you like playing, who you like doing that. That's why I said I got a rotating GOAT level. There's five guys that got an argument. There's these tier one players, Elgin Baylor, averaging 38 and 20 and all that. Maybe you could argue he's top 10. Because
Heard
if you
that
can put
too.
up, yeah, because if you can put up 38 and 20, at some point he was. Moses Malone, nobody factors in. I'll put it this way. Let's just go with this. Let's say I have Moses over Kobe, right? Just for the sake of argument. Well, why would I have Moses over Kobe? Well, I watched Kobe drop 35 a game with a 45 win team and can't get out the first round. I watched Moses put up similar numbers, although he was more dominant on the rebounding and all that. And he took a 40 win team to the finals, 40 and 42, only team with a losing record to make the finals. Now, if that's not really a great accomplishment, I don't know what is. And we're arguing what's great because that's what the GOAT is.
Yeah, this is true.
Because winning a title is a better accomplishment, but it might not be. But if you're winning a title with 70 wins, you're expected to win it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Where do you got? I'll put it this way. Is there anybody else like, because you say Curry's got a chance, Durant's got a chance. You see anybody in the
Mhm.
league currently that, ultimately when their career's over, they got a chance to crack top 10?
Yes, I do.
Who?
It's actually a few. It's Giannis,
Mm-hmm.
Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if Embiid could stay healthy, or if he could string along some healthy seasons, I guess, like for the next like 6, 7 seasons, possibly. Even though it's very early, I feel as though if Wemby stays healthy, he may just everything that he has, he's only going to develop and get better at the things that he's already doing. So it's just crazy to think of the limits and the level that he can rise to. You feel me? So I feel as though Wemby, we might be looking at this era's like Wilt, like, but like a hybrid, because it's just like, how Wilt was dominant during his era and everything like that. It could be like Wemby becomes that dominant player. And what's dominance in this era? A large
Dribble,
man.
pass, shoot. And so what about
What you
Luca?
the alien? Look at something else. Yes, Luca even. You feel me? So basically we're looking at, in my opinion, I could be wrong or I
SGA?
could be, huh? I
SGA?
don't know yet. I don't know yet. Maybe. I don't know yet though. But in my opinion, we might be looking at the beginning stages of a replacement top 10. You feel me? I could be crazy or prophetic. I don't know. But
Who do you think? Give me the top three you think that's got the best chance out of the younger guys or mid to younger guys. Not the Currys, during not that clearly at the end of their career, but give me like the top three. Either in their prime or a little bit younger guys that have a chance to break into the top 10. Do we have anybody that you think can be the goat that can supplant? In everybody, pretty much everybody's mind, it's either LeBron or Jordan. So we'll go with that. And then there's a few outliers that I think have Wilt, Kareem, and Russell as their number one. But obviously they're older people. Um, do you think who do you think's got the best chance to be the goat? And then give me three that you think's got to go in the top 10, and then we'll take off for the night.
I don't know if I necessarily think anybody has the potential to be, from what I'm seeing, has the potential to be the GOAT yet. And we're not talking about, so no KD's, nothing like that. We're talking like the with Jokic, like
The
after
Jokic,
Jokic
the
point.
Giannis, the Lucas,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So legitimately, I feel as though either one of them could have the eventually this is dependent on the type of career they have moving forward. But I feel as though talent wise, the potential as far as their skill set and some of the stuff they've already done as well show that if they add something extra or continue on this path, they could be the greats. So Jokic, Giannis, again, I really want to see what Wemby gonna do because I feel as though it, it could possibly be him.
So
Now
so
as
I think Jokic has zero chance to be the GOAT. Can he be top
yeah,
10? Yeah, but I think he has zero chance to be the GOAT because I think nowadays, after the precedence that has been set, if you want to go with Jordan as your GOAT, then the absolute competitiveness and drive to try to win every single game, every single
yeah, I think he
series,
got
everything.
that.
Right, right. No, no, I'm not saying Jokic has it, but Jokic don't give a fuck ultimately.
Right.
Then you
You
then
gotta
you got
care. I get it.
then you got someone like LeBron, who's like, yo, I could kill the game in stats, and that could be my argument, just playing year after year after year, as well as winning titles, winning awards, winning all that, but there's that. And he cares about being the GOAT, I think. Then there's somebody like, and I don't think he got anywhere near, but because I don't think he had the athleticism of the two, and I think that's what ultimately stopped him. I think the skill set was there, but the athleticism really was a Kobe. He had a dedication and a passion with working out and grinding and all that. So Jokic, I think, I mean, I think that dude retires at 33. And how are you at 33 going to beat all these players with all the? I mean, you got to play till your late 30s, or you got to want to play 20
So
years.
so
Now,
that's why you don't think he's gonna play long enough.
no, I don't
It's
think he
necessary.
cares enough.
Okay, okay,
I think you have to care
okay.
to be the GOAT. Now, Giannis, on the other
Well,
hand, Giannis
now,
cares. Giannis gives a fuck.
yeah, you're right. You're right there. However, Jokic, though, again, this is something different. Jokic could accidentally get a triple double and not care.
Right.
And if he does that consistently, it's like, dang, he might accidentally stumble into being the greatest. But to your point, I feel you though, because you definitely got to play. Because like I was saying, these players that I'm talking about, there's still work that they have to do. So yeah,
So to answer this question, but yeah, I think Giannis has the best chance of being the GOAT out of everybody. I don't think he has
ooh,
much chance. But to answer that
top
question,
25. Ooh,
no, I don't see him being top 25 at all, as
I
of right
like him
now.
though. What
No,
I
no, it's
Montreal?
it's well, hold on. It's not that I don't like him. It's that I don't like what he's doing as a power forward as far as becoming a top 25 player. If you're going to be a power forward, you can't get, especially in your second season, and especially when we got more positionless basketball. When he is how tall is he? Is he what, 6'8"?
He,
Is that
he,
No, he's 6'10". He's 6'10".
yeah,
So yeah, I was thinking he was a little taller, but I wasn't sure. So, anyways, but he only gets you like 6 rebounds a game. So if you are going to be one of the best players at a power forward position, you need to start getting me a double double. We look at guys like, top
he's
25. We
still he's
see
still young though. He might turn it up though in the next couple seasons. We might see that elevate. But go ahead, my bad. I mean cut you off.
No, 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 it's cool. But the point that I'm making is we see him, and he's playing a lot better or whatever this season. But a lot better is he's actually not as good rebounding as far as raw stats. His points are up by like 2, 3 points a game. His blocks are the same. His assists are up by like an assist and a half. So I'm just saying, when we see like guys that are top 10 level players, we see massive jumps. LeBron went from 20 to 27 his second season. Barkley's a top 25. He went from 14 to 20, and that's also playing behind an Irving and a Moses Malone and things like that. Even Kobe. Kobe went from a 7 to a 15. That is a massive jump. A 20 to 23 jump, less rebounds, less like that. So no, I think he's going to be really good, but I just think there's just so many players better than him as of right now to be top 25. Now, I could be wrong, and I've seen people like Nash, who didn't start playing his best ball till he was in his 30s. Nash had a very weird career. His first 4 years, he was like a bench player. His next 4 years, he was like borderline all star, depending on if his team's winning or not, like 17-7, which 17-7 on a winning team gets you into an all star game. 17-7 on a mediocre team don't mean shit. Then his next 4 years, he was MVP level. Then his next 4 years, he was like all NBA level. And then his next 4 years, he was like injured, and that was the end of his career. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Man, Nash been cold his whole career. I ain't trying to hear
Yeah.
it.
That 3 points a game he averaged as a rookie, cold.
Yeah, yeah, they was wasting his talents.
Well,
He should have
well,
took him
sometimes you got
South Beach.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You gotta take your talent some to South Beach. But anyways, that's up for us. We out. That's the end of our night. So we will check y'all Monday. Until then,
Yeah.
stay up. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, your cousins, your grandma. And until then, we'll check y'all next week.